Happy Friday. So this is going to be a quick video because I have a few videos I need to do and they're all going to be quick. So I hope that you decide to hit the like button. Definitely let me know what you think about these videos in the comments. This one is a crazy one. So there's a lot of protests going on, a lot of civil unrest from the previous story that I did where the woman was unalived in Minnesota by ICE agent. I told you guys that they were going to be protesting. Well, they're protesting there. They're also protesting in DC, and it may be a few other places, but we'll see once we go over to TikTok. But while I was scrolling, I noticed something that they were screaming at a Fox News reporter. I don't know her name, but she is recognizable, but I don't know her name. And she's was saying, "Do you have a job?" And the lady replied, "Yes, I have a job. I'm getting paid now." So you're being paid to be out there. So the question is, are these protests real protests, like with real people with real grief, or are they being paid on the side allegedly to go out and protest and cause whatever havoc they're causing in
I just wanted to know, what are you doing here today? What are you hoping to achieve by talking to these people?
Just engaging the officers in a dialogue to consider different possibilities in such a stressful situation when something is escalating, and how to de-escalate something while keeping everything safe. They have to be mindful of their own staff, their own colleagues, and public alike. And what just happened yesterday was a classic example of how somebody's lack of training can ruin somebody's life. An officer's life is ruined. I'm sure he didn't want to do that, but he's justifying it as if he was protecting himself. Makes sense for him to protect himself, but that's a lack of training. When somebody think, oh, I have to do something when I have to protect me. Yes, they have to do something, and that doing means go away, move away. They don't have to use lethal force. It is only supposed to be used when there is no other possibility available.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
You told me you're a therapist.
Yes.
We've obviously seen tragedy here in the last 24 hours.
Yeah. It's painful.
Talk to me about the impact that is having on your community, on yourself.
I do crisis management, and I get suicidal clients, like clients who end up feeling suicidal, and doctors refer them to me. So I get clients directly from providers, and I see 3 or 4 suicidal patients a day, and it's just been overwhelming to the community. And people want to talk about the politics. Us therapists are trained to not talk about the politics, and it's just been very exhausting for me to do my job when so much is going on in community. Yes, hard. Yes.
It's not every day you can walk into a tunnel here.
So that was Minnesota, where she was just speaking. She sounds like she needs some therapy right now. Like, I would not want my therapist, if she's going through this kind of stress, to be talking to me, because I just wouldn't. And now we're in DC.
In DC, but a huge group of protesters is on their way to the White House. Right now, it is just after 7 p.m. on Thursday, and they are upset about what they saw in Minneapolis yesterday. The ICE agent who shot and killed a United States citizen. You can see we are now just a couple of blocks away from the White House. Police have kind of been leading the way this entire march to make sure that any street this group uses doesn't have any vehicular traffic on it. We'll keep you guys updated once we get to the White House, but a huge growing group walking from 14th and U Streets all the way to the White House in protest of that ICE Minneapolis shooting where Renee Nicole Good, a United States citizen, was shot and killed by an ICE agent yesterday. It's not every day.
And while I am so deeply sorry for her family's loss and for her loss of life, and wish that it could have went a different way, than it did. We have to be mindful of when people are out doing, whether you like the work they're doing or not, they're doing what they're told to do. Now, do they need a little more training? I do believe they do, because who are these people that are in ICE? What kind of background training do they have? You just, weaponize people and send them out there to do the work. Have you trained them? That's a reasonable question to ask, because these people are walking around with weapons and given rights to use or do whatever they want. Do they have policies and procedures in place? How much training do they get before they are allowed to go out and basically police? Because, it's somewhat policing what they're doing and raiding and going in people's homes. How much training do they have? That's all the question I have. Not that they should not be doing what they're doing, but did you train them to do it? And do you need to tweak or add to the training that you did give them so that the next time hopefully doesn't end like this? And then on the other end of the spectrum is the people who come out because they are against ICE being there. And I get it, you feel like it's an invasion. But at the end of the day, when you yourself need help because someone did not get removed from a neighborhood that should not have been there in the first place, and you call and then you're upset because no one protected you from that illegal immigrant or whatever that's out here, because we see a lot of illegal immigrants being arrested and released after committing crimes such as R and more. So we really need to take a step back, use our common sense, not respond out of our flesh to what you don't like. You don't have to like anything. It's nowadays, every time you don't like something, let's get in the streets and let's protest this. Let's find a different way to handle the situation, because going out and trying to stop people who were told to go out like ICE, then you have the citizens coming out going against what they're saying. And the Bible states, this is a rough one to talk about because people get upset and offended by it.
We want ICE off our streets! We want ICE off our streets!
It's unprecedented. I never thought I would see a time in American history like this.
No justice, no peace! No justice, no peace!
I don't know how someone can stay silent and not come out this evening with what's happening in our country.
We don't get no justice! We don't get no peace! We want ICE off!
Shame!
Do you have a job? Do you have a job?
Shame! Shame! I'm getting paid right now! Shame! Shame! Shame!
Do you have a job? Do you have a job?
Shame! Shame! I'm getting paid right now! Shame! Shame!
She getting paid right now. She getting paid right now. I don't have an issue with protesting because protesting has gotten us very far in this country, being able to express our dislike with the government and the laws and procedures and policies that they do pass. But we also need to keep in mind what we're showing our children. Like, it's okay to protest, but when you are being disrespectful, when you are being violent towards the people you are protesting against, even if they're in that moment not being violent towards you, not about what they did that you are protesting. I get that, but they weren't violent towards you. So protest to get your point across so that you can remain out there and speak your voice and let it be heard and not end up arrested or hurt or worse. So in Romans 13, 1 through 7, let everyone be subject to governing authorities, for there is no authority except that which God has established. Rulers hold no terror for those who do right, but for those who do wrong, give to everyone what you owe them. If you owe taxes, pay taxes. If revenue, then revenue. If respect, then respect. If honor, then honor. Because if you show violence towards them, then they show violence towards you. Nothing was accomplished in the whole goal.
Watch what happened last night when the NBA team Minnesota Timberwolves had a moment of silence for ICE victim Renee Good.
Please join us in a moment of silence.
Watch what happened last night when the NBA team Minnesota Timberwolves.
If you really was respecting this woman and they're doing a moment of silence, go home ICE. That sounds like somebody who got paid to do what they did. Paid to have outbursts, paid to be out there protesting like that woman. It goes back to respect, disrespect versus disrespect, respect versus respect, honor versus honor. But how much can you be bought off? Because obviously, if you give someone, because there were people in a different protest last year, it was said that they were being paid just $20, $30 to be out there. People would do anything for any dollar amount. Very crackheadish. So when we see these protests, we need to ask ourselves, what is the real agenda? What's the motive behind it? Are these people genuinely concerned about the community, or are there plants within that? Not saying everybody out there is a plant, but there are some plants within these protests, these organizations that come together and say, we're going to go and do this protest. Then you have a different outside organization that wants to come in and cause chaos under the guise that they're all together. So if you're out there protesting, just definitely be careful, watch yourself, because when you have the enemy walking right next to you and you don't even know it, anything could happen. Or you could just get caught up in their foolishness and you had nothing to do with it. That's why I don't like large groups. I just don't. It's too much confusion. It's too much chaos. It's too many people want to be, the leader, and no one really wants to be the follower. Everybody has their own agenda while they're out there doing. But y'all let me know what y'all think down below. I'll see y'all in the next video. Don't forget to hit that like, share the video out if you choose to. Leave your comments down below, and bye.